everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of 52-Week Movie Challenge. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and today I had a fun one. So this week is, I believe, week 15, and for week 15, it was a B movie. Now, Paul was suggesting I actually do an actual B movie, like a movie about a B movie about killer bees or something. And there was one on Tubi I was interested in doing, but I think I might save that for like Indie Film Cafe or something. I decided to do, as you can see, with Mr. Leo Fong over here, that I decided to do Low Blow, the 1986 film. So I'm going to go through my write-ups here. Date challenge completed was 4/11/22. Aspect ratio I could not find. Running time was an hour and I think 26 minutes, but it says an hour and 30 on IMDb. It's a martial arts film noir, and we'll get into that. It's rated R, and it stars Leo Fong, Cameron Mitchell, and Trey Donahue, among others. Directed by Frank Harris. Produced by Leo Fong, Mark Moldenhauer, and Bertrand Unger. Written by Leo Fong, and music by Steve Amundsen. And awards received in A. Why did you choose this particular film? Because another one didn't work on Tubi, so I had to choose something else, and I chose to do this one. This is my second choice, actually, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But I've always wanted to see it. Have you seen this movie before? Nope. Would you recommend this film? Why or why not? Hell yeah, it is cheesy and fun. What character were you most able to identify with or connect with in what way? I was like, I can't park that well, so maybe Joe Wong, but I am not as bad as him. Best line or memorable quote: "Where are you taking me? To a place where the sun always shines." Were you surprised by the ending? What would you do differently? Not really. I had a feeling they would, get the girl. And I wouldn't do anything different. What changes would you implement to make this an A-list film? That's a good question. I guess bigger stars, better script, a few other things but not too much here. I mean, it could have been an A-list film had they had like the right actors involved and stuff. If it wasn't Leo Fong, but was like, imagine if Bruce Lee was doing this movie, or Jackie Chan was doing this movie. Kind of looks a little like Jackie Chan. Like, I'm not saying, anything racist, but I'm just saying, like, kind of look. I mean, I would have thought that was Jackie Chan. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But it's a decent B movie. Anything else you'd like to add? Nope. Go watch it on Tubi. And so I chose this movie because so I was trying to watch another movie called Eye of the Tiger that starred Gary Busey, and I wanted that to be my B movie. However, it was like glitching a lot, so I don't know what's wrong with that. Maybe that upload was messed up or something, but it just didn't work for me, and I kept trying to make it work and it just wouldn't. So I was like, all right, let's go to my backup. Hold on. My backup was this Low Blow, and I've been wanting to do it. I'm eventually probably going to do it for Indie Film Cafe or Patreon only, or something. Probably Patreon only, because it's a fun one, but it's more popular because it's on like Red Letter Media, and it's one of those. So it'll probably be a Patreon only episode. But so you'll get a stinkometer score from us on that, which I don't think I'll go into what my stinkometer score is, so that maybe you can go and help us out by donating to our Patreon. So Anywho, to kind of go back into it, so this movie is a martial arts film noir. It's about Joe Wong is a private investigator who uses his martial arts skill. He's also sort of a vigilante. He just goes around and beats up crime, that's happening, and kills people and just walks away. Which I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So he kind of does that, and then he gets asked to go basically retrieve the Trey Donahue's kidnapped daughter, who is kidnapped by, well, it's not kidnapped. Yeah, she was kidnapped. Fuck, she was kidnapped. So there's a cult that's going on, and at first she's joined it, but then all of a sudden they're like making her work, and they're like working her to death, and she's going into she's being brought into like sort of a hospital or whatever. So Joe Wong finds all the information out that she was thinking about joining this group. So he goes to investigate the group, the cult, and I guess he finds her, but it doesn't really show that. And then he teams up with this guy for a second and takes out a bunch of people because he gets kidnapped. Because I guess they get suspicious of why he's there, even though he says he's a journalist. They don't believe him, and so he escapes and gets a whole ragtag group of people together to go and basically break her out and bring her back. So that's the story. Along the way, a lot of weirdness happens. So at one point, there's like a pit fight thing. It reminded me of like what's that movie, like Lionheart, or those movies where they just like randomly fight in like little pits or whatever back in the 80s and 90s. And so there's just random pit fight, and there's ninjas in the pit fight. I was like, whoa, what in the world is going on here? That was kind of cool, and then there was just a bunch of random shit in the movie. There's just randomness. So I figured out that what he was doing was recruiting the people, I guess, at the pit, thing. He sees like who's the best of the best sort of thing. And he takes the people and he kind of makes his own little A team, and they go, and then that's who goes and busts things up. But first I was like very confused as to why there's a random pit fight that he's not involved in. He's not fighting anybody. So I was like, what is going on here? Why? Like, and I felt like he set it up too. Like he was the one who kind of orchestrated the whole thing. So it was weird. But there was some cool fights and whatnot in there. And then you get to kind of meet some of the people that join his team. So they join the team and then they go off and fight the people there. So that sort of made sense. That made sense. Then there's a part where like he's just a terrible parker. Like he just parks like awkward. He either parks like off to the side or whatever, or on a curb or whatever. He just does not know how to park. And so every single time he leaves to go in a building, he comes back out with a parking ticket. Sometimes we see the cop coming and putting a parking ticket on his car, but most of the time we just come back and he's got a parking ticket, and he's just very confused, like, why do I got this parking ticket? And I'm like thinking, have you seen yourself park? Jesus, terrible. I don't know if that's like, I guess it's some kind of running gag, because like at the end of it, spoiler alert, at the end of his car doesn't start, if you haven't seen this movie, I don't know why you're watching this review, but I say that about every review I do. It was so silly and goofy, but fun. And like I said, Red Letter Media has handled this. I bet Cinema Snob's done it. I wouldn't be surprised if this was riff tracked or is going to be riff tracked at some point. It's a lot of fun, but it's really silly and stupid and out there. And I like it. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be a Patreon only episode with like Paul, me, or myself and somebody else who, it's sort of funny, like this season of Indie Film Cafe, we've done a lot of 80s action flicks. way more so than we've done before. So we did like was it Miami Connection, then we did um Deadly Prey, and then we did Samurai Cop, just a bunch of these action films. I think that we've done more too, even some we haven't even like put out yet. And so it's been a crazy year for 80s action. For season for 80s action. But I mean, it just was bound to like because we haven't really done that many period, so it was bound that we're gonna start doing them. Plus, I love those things. I love how cheesy they are and how much fun. Like, I generally love that stuff, and I was enjoying this movie. I gave it a 3 stars, not because it's an actual good movie, but it's just fun. It's just really silly and stupid, and if you take it so seriously and you're like, oh my God, this is terrible and bad and horrible, because it's cheesy, low budget action, then why are you watching it? Because like this movie is exactly what I would hope for a cheesy action flick, honestly. So I would suggest checking this out if you haven't and letting me know what you guys think. Um, but yeah, that's about it. Join me next week. Let's see. Next week, I believe is a silent film. Yep, choose a silent film. Ugh. Um, all right. Well, I've got to choose the silent film for next week. I might do one I know a lot of people have talked about that I've never seen, and so it'd be interesting to check it out. But we'll see. All right. Join me next week for a whole new 52-week movie challenge. Can't believe we're on week 15 already. It's going. It's gonna be a long year. But a fun one. So thank you guys for checking this out, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.